The massive viewscreen hummed with an eerie blue light, casting Captain Junpark's weathered face in sharp relief. His fingers traced the holographic tactical display, tracking the approaching Kiran fleet like predators stalking their prey. The RSS Harmony vibrated softly, its advanced quantum drives barely making a whisper against the vast emptiness of space. Around him, the bridge crew moved with practiced precision. Junior Lieutenant Yuna Kim's hands danced across multiple communication interfaces, her eyes darting between incoming data streams. Senior Navigator Hyun Cho monitored their positioning, his muscular frame tense with anticipation. "Incoming transmission," Yuna announced, her voice calm but carrying an underlying current of excitement. The holographic projection flickered, revealing a towering alien commander. The Kiran representative looked almost reptilian, deep emerald, skin with intricate silver scale patterns, multiple eyes that seemed to look in different directions simultaneously. Its voice emerged through universal translators, cold and mechanical. "Human vessel. You have entered restricted galactic territory. Prepare for immediate surrender and processing." June's lips curled into a slight smile. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment. First contact wasn't going to be a simple submission. The Kiran fleet stretched across millions of kilometers, hundreds of obsidian-like ships with crystalline weapon systems that could obliterate entire planetary populations. Their technology was generations ahead of Earth's initial space exploration capabilities. Each ship represented centuries of evolutionary warfare technology, designed to crush resistance before it could even begin. But they didn't know humans. "Negative," June responded, his fingers subtly signaling his tactical team. "We're here to establish diplomatic relations." The alien commander's multiple eyes blinked in rapid succession, a sign of confusion in Kiran body language. No species had ever directly challenged them in centuries. The RSS Harmony wasn't just another spacecraft, developed in secret underground facilities across multiple continents. It represented humanity's most advanced technological achievement: quantum adaptive shields, plasma fusion engines, and AI-integrated combat systems that could reshape battlefield dynamics in microseconds. Hyun's navigation systems were already calculating potential engagement scenarios. Quantum algorithms processed millions of potential outcomes, creating adaptive strategies that would make traditional warfare look like child's play. "Fascinating," muttered Yuna, her fingers tracing unusual communication patterns. She was sending encrypted signals that would appear like random technological noise to the Kiran systems. Suddenly, the space around them transformed. Kiran ships began shifting positions, their massive weapon systems powering up. The initial, diplomatic encounter was rapidly evolving into a potential conflict. What the Kirans didn't understand was human unpredictability. Where most galactic species followed rigid strategic protocols, humans operated on intuition, creativity, and an almost irrational determination to survive. The first energy weapons charged, brilliant emerald beams cutting through the darkness of space. But the RSS Harmony was already moving, its quantum drives allowing movements that defied traditional physics. "Evasive pattern delta," June commanded, his voice steady. The spacecraft twisted and dove, its movements so fluid and unexpected that the first wave of Kiran attacks missed completely. Each maneuver was a dance, each navigation choice a strategic masterpiece. Yuna's communication systems were now actively disrupting Kiran tracking systems. Small nanotechnological interference devices, developed in secret laboratories on Earth, were sending conflicting signals that confused their targeting computers. This wasn't just a battle. This was humanity's first true test on the galactic stage. The Kiran commander's multiple eyes narrowed, realizing these humans were unlike any species they had encountered before. No submission, no fear, just pure, unyielding resistance. As energy, weapons continued to slice through the cosmic darkness. One thing became clear: this encounter would be remembered throughout galactic history. Humanity had arrived. And they were ready. End of Part 1. The communication chamber of the RSS Harmony crackled with tension. Lieutenant Yuna Kim adjusted her neural interface, translating the incoming Kiran transmission with split-second precision. The alien commander's voice resonated through the ship's advanced audio systems, each word dripping with centuries of galactic dominance. "Humans," the Kiran representative began, "your technological capabilities are primitive. Your resistance is mathematically improbable." Junpark watched the holographic projection, studying every minute detail of the alien's body language. The Kiran stood nearly 3 meters tall, with a muscular exoskeleton that seemed to shimmer between solid and liquid states, a biological adaptation that had made their species virtually unbeatable in combat for generations. Yuna's fingers moved rapidly across her communication panel. Hidden within the standard translation protocols were complex quantum encryption codes, a human innovation that would make their communication systems virtually unreadable to Kiran technology. "We're not here to fight," June responded, his voice calm, but carrying an undercurrent of steel. "We're here to establish first contact." The ship's interior hummed with energy. Every system was on high alert, quantum adaptive shields ready to respond to the slightest threat. Human engineers had spent decades developing technologies that could counter the Kiran's advanced weaponry. Suddenly, the holographic display flickered. Multiple targeting systems from the Kiran fleet began charging, brilliant emerald energy weapons that could obliterate entire planetary populations in seconds. But something was different this time. The Kiran commander seemed confused. Hyun, Joe, the navigation specialist, was already plotting multiple escape routes. But escape wasn't the plan. Adaptation was. The RSS Harmony's AI systems were collecting massive amounts of data with each passing microsecond, analyzing Kiran communication protocols, weapon signatures, and behavioral patterns. "Your civilization has 2 options," the alien commander declared. "Complete submission or total elimination." Yuna's fingers touched a barely visible interface. Micro-nanobots embedded in the communication systems began their silent work, creating complex interference patterns that would slowly disrupt the Kiran's computational abilities. The bridge crew remained calm. This wasn't fear. This was preparation. Outside, the vastness of space became a battlefield of technological innovation. Kiran ships moved with mathematical precision, their weapon systems capable of destroying multiple targets simultaneously. But the RSS Harmony moved differently, unpredictably, almost randomly. "Initiate quantum communication protocol," June whispered. A series of complex signal patterns began broadcasting. To the Kiran, it would appear as random technological noise, but each signal carried layers of information, probing, analyzing, understanding. The first energy weapon fired, a massive emerald beam that could slice through conventional spacecraft like paper. But the RSS Harmony was already moving, its quantum drives allowing movements that defied traditional understanding of physics. "Incredible," Hyun muttered, watching the navigation systems. "They're powerful but predictable." Predictability was humanity's greatest weapon. The Kiran commander's multiple eyes began to show signs of what could only be described as frustration. These humans were unlike any species they had encountered. No submission, no fear, just pure, calculated resistance. Small robotic repair systems moved through the ship's interior, continuously adapting and reinforcing critical systems. Each moment was a chess match, with humanity playing by rules the Kirans couldn't comprehend. As the initial confrontation continued, one thing became absolutely clear. This was more than a battle. This was humanity's declaration to the galaxy. "We are here. We are different, and we are not going anywhere." End of Part 2. The cosmos erupted in a ballet of technological warfare, with the RSS Harmony dancing between massive Kiran battleships like a quantum-powered hummingbird. Commander Dai Huang's fingers flew across holographic interfaces, implementing a strategy that would rewrite galactic combat protocols forever. Deep within the ship's advanced computational core, artificial intelligence systems were doing something unprecedented. Instead of following rigid military algorithms, These AI modules were learning, adapting, and creating strategies in real time. Each microsecond brought a new potential approach, a different angle of attack that defied traditional warfare logic. "Prepare." "Swarm protocol," Day whispered, his eyes reflecting multiple holographic displays. Hundreds of microdrones began deploying from the RSS Harmony's external compartments. These weren't ordinary machines. They were intelligent, interconnected units that could think and adapt collectively. Where Kiran technology expected massive, predictable weapon systems, humans introduced chaos. The first wave of drones moved like a living organism. Some deliberately exposed themselves as bait, while others used advanced quantum camouflage to slip through impossible gaps in the Kiran defense systems. Each drone carried specialized disruption technology, designed to confuse, interrupt, and ultimately paralyze the alien fleet's communication networks. Yuna Kim's communication systems were working overtime. She wasn't just blocking Kiran's signals, she was actively rewriting them. Complex quantum encryption codes transformed incoming threat messages into cascading data loops that would keep Kiran computational systems endlessly processing meaningless information. Outside, space itself seemed to bend around the human spacecraft. The RSS Harmony moved with a fluidity that defied conventional physics, sliding between massive Kiran battleships, momentarily appearing in multiple locations simultaneously. Their tactical predictability is their weakness, Hyun-Cho announced, tracking their impossible trajectory. The Kiran fleet's initial confidence was rapidly transforming into confusion. Their centuries of galactic domination had been built on predictable combat models. Humans were introducing something entirely new: organized unpredictability. One of the microdrones penetrated a critical Kiran communication hub. Instead of delivering a traditional viral attack, it began broadcasting complex mathematical sequences that would slowly destabilize their entire computational infrastructure. It wasn't destruction, it was systematic, intelligent disruption. Massive Kiran battleships, each capable of destroying entire planetary systems, suddenly found their weapon systems glitching. Targeting computers displayed impossible spatial coordinates. Communication channels dissolved into cascading data streams. The human strategy wasn't about overwhelming force, it was about intelligent adaptation. Day watched the holographic displays, a slight smile forming. Humanity had spent decades studying every known galactic species, understanding their technological limitations. The Kirans believed in absolute technological superiority. Humans believed in creative problem-solving. More drones deployed, some carrying advanced electromagnetic pulse generators, others with quantum entanglement communication disruptors. Each was a precision instrument designed to exploit the tiniest vulnerabilities in the Kiran technological ecosystem. "Energy signature neutralization complete," Yuna reported, her voice calm despite the massive technological battle unfolding. The RSS Harmony wasn't just fighting. It was teaching the galaxy a fundamental lesson about human innovation. Where others saw limitations, humans saw opportunities. Where traditional strategies suggested direct confrontation, humans introduced calculated chaos. Kiran battleships began experiencing systematic failures. Weapon systems powered down. Communication networks collapsed. Navigation computers displayed impossible spatial configurations. This wasn't just a battle, this was a technological revolution. As the confrontation continued, one thing became crystal clear. The Kiran had encountered something they could never have predicted. Humanity wasn't just another galactic species. They were something entirely different, unpredictable, adaptable, unstoppable. End of Part 3. The Andromeda cluster blazed. With technological fury, pilot Sung Lee's modified scout ship twisted through impossible spatial configurations, each movement a calculated dance of destruction that left the Kiran fleet reeling. Her hands moved with supernatural precision across the quantum adaptive control interface. This wasn't just piloting, this was transforming warfare into an art form. The scout ship, barely larger than a traditional fighter craft, carried technologies that would make entire Kiran research departments collapse in disbelief. Outside, Space itself seemed to ripple and bend. Massive Kiran battleships, each the size of small cities, found themselves outmaneuvered by a spacecraft that seemed to defy every known law of physics and combat strategy. Sung's neural interface connected directly with the ship's AI systems. Information cascaded through her consciousness faster than traditional human perception could process. She wasn't just flying, she was becoming one with the most advanced human technological system ever created. The Kiran commander's communication channels erupted in what could only be described as technological panic. Their tracking systems couldn't lock onto Sung's ship. Each time they prepared a weapon sequence, the human craft had already moved to a position that made their attacks mathematically impossible. Micro-quantum disruption modules embedded in the scout ship's hull began their silent work. These weren't traditional weapons. They were intelligent systems designed to exploit the most microscopic vulnerabilities in alien technological infrastructure. Target acquisition impossible, the Kiran tactical systems repeated, their computational logic failing against human unpredictability. Sung's ship dove between massive energy weapons, movements so precise that they appeared almost supernatural. Where traditional pilots would require complex calculations, she operated on something more profound. Intuition enhanced by quantum adaptive AI. The scout ship's external sensors began mapping the Kiran fleet's entire technological ecosystem. Each movement collected data. Each evasion became a learning opportunity. Humanity wasn't just fighting, they were studying, understanding, preparing to revolutionize galactic warfare. Massive Kiran battleships began experiencing systematic failures. Weapon systems powered down unexpectedly. Communication networks collapsed into cascading data loops. Navigation computers displayed impossible spatial configurations. "Initiate quantum entanglement protocol," Sung whispered. Complex communication signals began broadcasting, not as traditional weapons, but as intelligent data streams that would slowly dismantle the Kiran fleet's computational infrastructure from within. The battle wasn't about destruction. It was about demonstrating a fundamental difference in technological approach. Where Kiran systems expected predictable responses, human technology introduced calculated chaos. Each movement was a message. We are different. We are adaptive. We are unpredictable. Holographic displays across the RSS Harmony showed the unprecedented assault. Commander Dai Huang watched with a mixture of professional pride and pure scientific fascination. Humanity was rewriting the rules of galactic engagement in real time. Quantum disruption at 78% efficiency, Yuna Kim reported, her fingers dancing across communication interfaces. The scout ship moved like liquid mercury, flowing, changing, adapting. Traditional combat modules would require massive computational power to achieve such movements. Sung achieved them through a combination of human intuition and quantum adaptive. AI Kiran tactical systems began a systematic shutdown. Their centuries of technological superiority crumbled against an approach they could neither understand nor counter. This wasn't just a battle. This was a technological revolution that would be remembered throughout galactic history. As the Andromeda cluster continued to blaze with technological fury, one thing became absolutely clear. The Kiran had encountered a species that would change everything they understood about warfare, technology, and survival. Humanity had arrived, and they were introducing a new paradigm of existence. End of Part 4. The final moments of the battle unfolded like a cosmic symphony, with the RSS Harmony standing as the ultimate conductor of technological revolution. Captain June Park watched as the last Kiran mothership began its catastrophic collapse, systems failing in a cascading sequence of quantum disruptions. Silence filled the bridge, not the silence of defeat, but of profound transformation. Billions of kilometers away, galactic communication networks buzzed with the impossible news. A previously unknown species had just dismantled the most powerful military force in known existence, not through brute force, but through something far more dangerous, intelligent, adaptive creativity. "Transmission ready," Yuna Kim announced, her fingers hovering over the communication interface. June stepped forward, his reflection visible in the holographic display. Behind him, the crew of the RSS Harmony stood, not as soldiers, but as representatives of an entire species about to make its definitive statement to the universe. "We are humanity," he began, his voice calm and clear. "We do not seek conquest. We seek understanding." The transmission carried more than words. Embedded within the communication were complex data packets, scientific discoveries, technological innovations, and a fundamental invitation to dialogue. It was a message that said more than any traditional diplomatic communication could express. Outside, the remnants of the Kiran fleet drifted like wounded giants. Their massive battleships, once considered invincible, now looked like broken monuments to outdated technological thinking. Hyuncho's navigation systems continued tracking the cosmic battlefield. Each fragment of destroyed Kiran technology became a learning opportunity. Humanity wasn't just winning a war, they were collecting the most comprehensive dataset of alien technological systems ever assembled. The quantum adaptive AI systems aboard the RSS Harmony were already processing the battle's information. Millions of potential scenarios were being analyzed, additional strategies developed. This wasn't an end, this was a beginning. Structural integrity of primary Kiran mothership. Complete collapse imminent, the ship's AI announced. Sung Lee's scout ship moved gracefully between the dying alien vessels, collecting final pieces of technological data. Her neural interface captured every microscopic detail, a living record of humanity's first major galactic confrontation. Across Earth, scientific facilities erupted in controlled celebration. This wasn't just a military victory. This was proof of humanity's potential, a demonstration that creativity, adaptability, and collective intelligence could overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. The Kiran communication channels, once filled with threats of total annihilation, now carried confused, fragmented transmissions. Their computational systems were still trying to understand how a supposedly primitive species had completely dismantled their technological superiority. "Prepare comprehensive data compilation," Dai Huang instructed. "Every moment of this encounter needs to be studied." Holographic displays began assembling the battle's complete narrative, not as a traditional war record, but as a scientific and philosophical document that would reshape galactic understanding of technological evolution. The final Kiran mothership shuddered, its massive systems collapsing like a dying star. Billions of computational modules went dark simultaneously, a silent testament to human ingenuity. June's transmission continued broadcasting. It wasn't a message of triumph, but of potential, an invitation to dialogue, to understanding, to a new form of galactic interaction. "We are humanity," the message repeated. "We adapt, we understand, we evolve." As the cosmic dust settled, one thing became absolutely clear. This wasn't just a victory for humanity. This was a fundamental shift in galactic consciousness. The universe had just met its most unpredictable new species, and humanity was just getting started. End of Part 5.